Well, I made it. Took me a long time to get here, but I made it to the woods the place that it happened. You might know it as Pottersfield, place of infamy. I'm going to talk about that in a second as we go to day 3 on the Passion Week. We're going to look at Matthew chapter 26, 14 to 16. But before we get there, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for keeping current with our devotional study. Jared was in the back staircase. He didn't have the guts to go outside. Derek went into his chicken coop. Now that's courage. That's courage. And today I've taken us to a very dangerous, scary place. Before we read, I want to say 2 things. This Friday is going to be Good Friday service, starting at 6 o'clock. Jared has been putting together a tremendous Tenebrae service to ponder and consider what happened on Good Friday, the day that defines us. Then Sunday is Easter Sunday. I know we can't meet together. I get it. I understand. But we can still together worship the risen Christ. But you know, before you get to resurrection, you have to first go through crucifixion. And that's what Passion Week is all about, to consider the payment that was made on our behalf. If you want to check it out too, on my Facebook page, I've had 3 or 4 days already written just to consider the cross, what it means to us. You have a lot of time to think and meditate. It's really interesting. So much politics is being posted. So many different opinions. And people are just like, is there anything to really think about that will change me, that will, lift my spirits? Check out some of my posts, because today I talked in detail what happened on the crucifixion day. It's the price that was paid for us is incredible. It's incredible. Hey, Cherie Rawson is watching. I haven't talked to Cherie in a long time. How you doing, Cherie? Good to see you. I see Dan Lowe. Hey, he's a godly guy. And then Shannon Crane. So here we go. Are you ready? It's going to be dangerous. Matthew 26, 14 to 16. NLT, New Living Translation. Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples, went to the leading priests. And he asked, "How much will you pay me to betray Jesus to you?" How much will you pay me to betray Jesus? Oh, and they gave him 30 pieces of silver. From that time on, Judas began looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus. How much will you betray me? Let's think about that question. How much will you be willing to be paid to stop following Jesus? How much popularity will stop you from following Jesus? How much pleasure will stop you from following and even betraying Jesus, and even using his name in vain, ridiculing him, and even going along with the crowd? And what kind of price will cause you to betray Jesus? This is the field that is very dangerous. And I want you to keep watching, because we've come to a stone here. A red stone. And if you look this way, there is a rope on a fallen, broken tree. So you see the stone and the fallen, broken tree with a rope that has a little red on it. You know what's happening here? Well, if you continue to read in Matthew, we get to 27. In Matthew 27, and I'll read by this red here. Matthew 27 says, "Very early in the morning, the leading priests and the elders of the people met again to lay plans to put Jesus to death. Then they bound him, led him away. When Judas, who betrayed him, realized that Jesus has been condemned to die, he was filled with remorse. It caught up to him. His betrayal caught up to him, and it filled him with remorse. It continues by saying, so he took the 30 pieces of silver back to the leading priests, said, I've sinned. I betrayed an innocent man. Then Judas threw the silver coins down in the temple and went out, and he hanged himself. Do you know, on the cross, Jesus died, and his blood came and was shed for us. I don't like to use the word spilled because somebody got mad at me for using the word spilled and said say shed, because it wasn't spilled, it was given freely by Jesus. Did you know that Judas spilled his blood? He spilled his own blood. See, here's the deal. If you don't accept Jesus' payment, you have to make your own payment. Your own payment. So if we think through this story, I'm going to wipe off that. I don't want the stain. If we think through this story, Judas followed Jesus for a long time. A long time. He saw the miracles. He saw the wonders. He saw the goodness of the man. And yet he also saw a chance to cash in, to use the life of Jesus for his own gain. He betrayed him. And in that betrayal, it might have been a quick gain. 30 pieces of silver made him instantly rich, but 2 or 3 days later, he was filled with remorse. Really, a day later. The thrill doesn't last long. The denial of Christ doesn't last long. Even, with how death is so close to us now, eternity's just on the other side of the veil. So is betrayal worth it? Is a red stone, where'd it go? It's back there. Do you see it? I'm getting farther away from it. There it is. Is shedding your own blood worth it? Because you can't pay for your sins. It's eternal. That's the devotion for today. Friday, we're going to think heavy on this. Saturday is Shabbat. It's the Jewish day of rest, of the day when Jesus was in the grave. And Sunday, he rose again. He rose again. So that's the devotion for today. What are you willing to betray Jesus for? Man, I hope I don't. I hope I don't. Godspeed.